Peace and blessings, everybody. What's up? It is I, Nova Kane Omega, representing Each Nine Teach Nine. Let me drop my logo on y'all right quick. Representing Each Nine Teach Nine today. Bow, 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 bow. You know what I mean? And welcome to another episode. Hope you guys are having a great holiday, regardless to what you celebrate. But we about to break down something that's very interesting that I just discovered that I didn't know about before. Okay, and that is this little thing called the Three Kings Parade. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to be talking about that. Whites in blackface, okay? The Three Kings Parade. Now I want y'all to look at this right quick. Don't go nowhere. Look at this. Bang. You see these folks? This is happening soon in Spain. This happens every year. It probably won't happen this year because of COVID-19, but it's called the Three Kings Parade, or the Three Kings Celebration. It has another name too, and it's called Calabrata or something like that, but we're about to look it up. So what we're going to do is a case study, family, about what this thing is, all right? Because, you know, this blackface thing is really kind of deep, and it's a very deep-seated kind of issue that we face as black folks when people of other races are wanting to paint their faces black in order to celebrate something about our culture or something that they see in us that they want to emulate. So let's talk about that, all right? So this is a case study. You're going to learn right as I learn about this Three Kings Parade, okay? So before you leave, like, comment, and share if you got to go. But this is a late night case study about whites in blackface, okay? Fats is back here. Say peace, Fats.
Oh, peace to the fam. What's up? Y'all already know.
You know what I mean? That's my homie right there. And he's studying about Kwanzaa and the origins of Kwanzaa and the agent that started Kwanzaa. And it kind of makes people really upset. But the guy who started Kwanzaa was a big fat agent of the government. So he's studying about that, and he's going to teach all about that in a couple of days or whatever, or maybe even tomorrow. All right. So let's talk about this whites and blackface thing. So first of all, you know me, I like to define stuff. So let me type this in. What is blackface? What's blackface? Now, I don't know if I have this thing set up to show your comments. If I don't, I apologize. But what is blackface, first of all? Okay, so let's look at it. Let's see what the computer has to say about that. All right, look at this, y'all. Look at these folks. All right, anyway, I ain't gonna hold you long, but we got to talk about this thing. Okay, hold on. Okay, so first of all, type what is blackface and see what we get. I'm using Yahoo, man. I need to be using some Google so y'all can see. Okay, so let's talk about blackface right now. Just real quick. So y'all know blackface goes to back in the day. As you can see, this guy right here, guy named, is this Billy Van, the monologue comedian, it says, and he's in blackface right here. All right, so this was a big deal back in the day. This is something that Europeans love to do to emulate us and to kind of do a hyper style caricature of us. So it says blackface is a term which is used to describe a form of theatrical makeup, which is predominantly used by non-black performers in order to represent a caricature of a black person. The term is also used in reference to black makeup, which is worn as a part of folk tradition and disguising rather than as a racial stereotype of black people. Now, again, this is something, I'm going to read that sentence again because this is something right here that upsets a lot of us when we see that they try to claim that this is not something that should make us upset. All right. So I'm going to read that again, and I'm going to read it slow. Blackface is a term which is used to describe a form of theatrical makeup, which is predominantly used by non-black performers in order to represent a caricature of a black person. The term is also used in reference to black makeup, which is worn as a part of folk tradition and disguising rather than as a racial stereotype of black people. Now, I'm going to keep reading a little bit, and then I'm going to go into why I read that twice. In the United States, the practice gained popularity during the 19th century and contributed to the spread of racial stereotypes. All right, so there it is right there. It contributed to the spread of racial stereotypes, such as the happy-go-lucky darky on the plantation or the dandified coon by the middle of the century. Blackface minstrel shows had become a distinctive American art form, translating formal works such as opera into popular terms for a general audience. In the 20th century, blackface branched off from the minstrel show and became a form in its own right. In the United States, blackface declined in popularity beginning in the 1940s and into the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s, generally considered highly offensive, disrespectful, and racist by the turn of the 20th century. Through the practice of similar looking ones continues, though the practice or similar looking ones continues in other countries. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the fact that in Spain, there's this thing called the Three Kings celebration, in which they don't see any problem with blackface, even though they've met a lot of opposition over the years from black people for dressing up in blackface like this. And it's a very interesting thing because you're talking about something where they're showing reverence, okay? So before I move on, let me talk about this right quick. The reason why I read this top paragraph again is because right here, they're talking about the folk traditions that some people practice, and they're not doing it to be racist. But I mean, we don't really dress up in whiteface. Well, maybe they're saying that some folky people may dress up in blackface for another reason other than to racially stereotype us. And I'll accept that because they did at least say and admit that it was very offensive for us as black people to behold somebody doing this to us. Because if you know anything about the word caricature, let's look that up real quick. All right? Then you know that this is not a caricature is not necessarily done in reverence, especially a moving one. It's one thing to draw a picture. Okay, so it says a picture, description, or imitation of a person in which certain striking characteristics are exaggerated in order to create a comic or grotesque effect. Verb, make or give a comically or grotesquely exaggerated representation of someone or something. So that doesn't sound to me like something that is, I don't want to be a caricature, right? And when you look at let's look at a few black-faced minstrels before we talk about the Spanish people. Black-faced minstrels. All right, y'all make sure y'all like and share this. Let's hang around because I'm about to teach y'all something real quick about this whole thing with Christmas and stuff like that, and how it's viewed in the rest of the world. A lot of the other traditions. Okay, like see this movie right here. This is an image. You're playing that black man in that movie. But see, look at this character. Look at this. Look at these. A lot of these people are not black. If I'm not mistaken, this might be Al Jolson. He's known for his blackface, and he's white, okay? But they would, paint these really big lips on us, and it's a minstrel because you're talking about a jester or a clown, okay? When you're talking about the blackface, really the spirit, the blackface spirit, is kind of almost like a demon or something to me. When look at that says nigga makeup. That's what that says. Look at the picture of this black man right here. Jesus. So yeah, that's not something that anybody would feel like you're trying to show us reverence if you're dressed up in blackface. So, all right. So you guys aren't, you're not under a rock. You understand that blackface exists. But I don't think a lot of you guys understand how deep it is, okay? So it goes back no deep. It's an honored tradition among many, many Europeans, and a lot of people will openly defend blackface. I've seen it on YouTube in recent times where they will openly defend it. But meanwhile, you have this movie, if you know more about it, about Sleep and Eat and Man Tan, and they're talking it kind of the satire and the parody of, using the word nigger, and you live in a world where white people, everybody's laughing and blah, 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 blah. So that's what a blackface caricature is. And I'm sorry, but it's not, it is offensive. I don't care what you guys say. I don't care if the person that was doing it was trying to offend us. It doesn't matter if you're trying to offend somebody. It's just like when back in the day when we used to say, I don't like that. That's gay. Right. And then the gay people came out and were like, hey, that's offensive because you're equating gay with negative. Right. So a lot of people stopped saying that because the people who were offended came out and spoke for themselves. And we owe them the respect of not continuing to use the word in that way. And I was guilty of it. You feel what I mean? And I didn't mean it the way that it was being taken. But it doesn't matter. You look at something. Some things are just hurtful and you can't just overlook it because you didn't mean it that way. All right. So let's talk about this parade, okay? But let me do a little spiel right quick before we get into the parade. If you just joining in, I'd like you to say peace, like, comment, and share. We're talking about whites in blackface, and particularly we're talking about the Three Kings Parade that is held in Spain every year, where all these people dress up in blackface. Let me let you look at it one more time before I move on, just so you can get the look at this. This is a sea of people dressed in blackface. Okay, teenagers and people of all ages. All right, so let's check on some of these comments. Peace, how you doing? All right. And let's see what you got to say. Irish tradition had a blackface elf that they have a name for. Ooh, I don't know if you're still there, but thank you for that comment and that tidbit, because I'm going to go down the complete rabbit hole in this next month about blackface, because I find it to be interesting and just kind of what it says about the psyche of us as black people, okay? And racism, the psyche of racism in particular. Okay. So thank you guys. All right. So, sorry, I don't have my other screen up, so it's kind of hard for me to maneuver this stuff. All right, so let's read about it. Let me find that first article I had up. Okay, I don't know if this is going to go into the blackface of it all, but this will just explain the actual, the celebration. Okay. After Santa has already visited and left gifts for children around the world, young kids in Spain are still anxiously awaiting the Reyes Magos to bring them their gifts on Three Kings Day, or Dia de los Reyes, also referred to as the Feast of the Epiphany. This biblical holiday is celebrated each year on January 6th in Spain and many other Spanish-speaking countries. While the holiday season in the U.S. normally ends right after the New Year, the winter vacation in Spain lasts until Three Kings Day. It's one of Spain's most important holidays, not just for the gifts, but also for the massive parade, the national lottery, and the traditional king's cake. Los Reyes Magos in Spain, jolly old Saint Nick, takes a back seat to the three kings of biblical lore. All right? So instead of getting all into Santa, they're saying they're more into the three kings that gave Jesus their gifts. All right? Hold on, let me take this comment down so you can see the screen better. But thank you for your comment. I really appreciated that. Let me also take my banner down. Okay, anyway. So, according to the Bible, these three men traveled from around the world to Bethlehem to bring gifts to the newborn Jesus. Whether or not they were actually kings is up for debate, but their legend of gift giving has lived on. On January 5th, the eve of Three Kings Day, Spanish children leave their empty shoes near the front door or window, hoping to find them filled with treats and presents the following morning. Many kids also leave out 3 glasses of warm milk and sweets for each of the kings, plus some hay or some grass for their hungry camels the next morning. So how we leave out cookies and milk, or Americans leave out cookies and milk, these cats is leaving out hay and shit for the camels to eat. All right, the next morning, the previously empty shoe is hopefully filled with and surrounded by gifts, although naughty kids in Spain may be left a lump of coal, just as with Christmas in the U.S. The parade. Traditionally, Santa arrives in secret sometime in the night, stealthily sliding down chimneys while everyone is fast asleep. The three kings, on the other hand, make a very public entrance with a lot of hubbub. Each city and town hosts its own parade on the eve of Three Kings Day called the Cabalgata, okay, to celebrate the arrival of the three kings into Spain from their long journey. The kings march down the main avenue of the city, either on their camels or on elaborate floats. In some coastal cities, like Barcelona, they arrive by boat and then continue on to the parade. In others, they've arrived by helicopter. It's a tradition, especially for families, to come out and see the parade. The kings throw out candy to the excited spectators, who then rush home to bed so the kings can visit and leave their presents. So there's a cake, there's the lottery, Christmas Day. I don't want to get into all of it because I'm not trying to get that deep into the Christmassy part. I just want you guys to get a good idea of what this celebration is about. So according to that, they don't really mean any harm. But what's going on is one of these kings is considered to be Los Negro. El Negro, you know what I mean? So they dress up in blackface to celebrate this one dude. And a lot of times if you see them in pictures, let me pull up some more of the images associated with the parade. All right, let's see. You'll notice it might be 3 people, even if it's not these people and we're going to talk in a minute about why they're wearing these fezzes and stuff. This is actually really deep right here to me. We know the history of Spain and how the Moors conquered Spain. But if you can see, a lot of these pictures, there'll be 2 white kings and a black king, just like this. just like that. See the one black king there? Let me see if I can find another one. I saw a couple of pictures like that where there were 3 people, but one of them was a black dude. So they consider one of these guys to be black. Now, I'm going to see if I can find one of those articles that's actually about that, okay? That goes into the kind of way that people are offended by this, because it's not just a cute parade that makes everybody happy. All right, so let's talk about the blackface part. It says the Independent employs over, okay, nothing. Okay, thousands of teenagers dress up as royal pages and put on blackface as a part of the Three Kings parade in Spain. The procession, which dates back to the 19th century and commemorates the arrival of the Magi Balthazar, Melchior, I don't know, and Gasper at Jesus' birthplace, took place in the Spanish town of Alcoy in Alicante province. As part of the parade, people paint their faces black with large red lips, like niggas, before marching through the streets and handing out sweets and presents to local children. Parades held in cities and villages elsewhere in Spain on January 5th feature 3 men dressed up as kings. Balthazar is historically depicted as being black. Images and footage from the Alcoy event, thought to be the country's longest running, reignited. Oh, okay, let me read that again. Images and footage from the Alcoy event, thought to be the country's longest running, reignited a debate on social media. They say it's racist in no way. Did they even stop to ask any black person how they felt about it? One person wrote, it's their culture, their celebration. Who are you, foreign person, to come in and say what celebrations they may have? They aren't harming anyone. Leave them alone, another person commentated. This person said commentated. I think they should have just said comment, but maybe I'm being a nerd. A third added, are you telling me they can't find some black people in Spain to ask if this is offensive or not? But see, if you see, some of the black people are celebrating that. Former Spain and Barcelona footballer Andres Iniesta faced a backlash after he posted a photo of him with a group of people, including 2 in Black Kings Day celebration. The 34-year-old midfielder has yet to respond to the social media criticism. And this article, I think, is from last year, because this is when I read this first. Critics have called for an end to the controversial blackface depictions for some time. All right, so there are people in Spain who are like, I don't know about this. Natalie Lebeau, a collaborator with Afrofeminas, told El País in 2017 that the elaborate affair was based in an imperialist and colonial history that celebrates white superiority. But Lorena Zamorano Gimeno, a counselor for heritage and tourism in Alcoy, told the paper there was no racist undertone to the town's heartwarming celebration. In Spain, the Epiphany, which takes place on January 6th, caps the Christmas season. This is when children receive their presents from the 3 kings and not Santa Claus. Now, I think what's interesting about this is they are celebrating the guy. It's not like it's not like they're dressed in blackface and eating watermelon. I mean, this is somebody who they revere. And they're dressed in blackface out of reverence. It's just that outside of their culture, they have to understand, I hope they will understand and be sensitive enough to know that, in other places, blackface has been used to really degrade us as a people. Because the people who dressed in blackface would do really degrading things and act like clowns and like idiots and like, just fodder for the white man's like humor or whatever. So that's one reason why we are offended. But Fats, did the Moors conquer Spain?
Yes. They conquered Spain and Portugal. It was called Al-Andalus. And they conquered it and pretty much ran it from 711 to 1492. So when you look at that and you look at those fezzes, now what blows me is they sure got a lot of fezzes and black paint available in Spain. No, everybody do their own thing. But that's something I think historically we need to look at. That's what I think of when I see this. I'm like, oh, okay, that's, for those of us that know anything about Moors Science Temple, our modern day Moors, they rock that fez.
They wear the fez.
It's very symbolic. And it's actually, the fez actually determines what degree of knowledge. That fez, the tassel around it, all of it has meaning. So when these people, I look at this and I see these people dressed like this, I'm like, wow. That's foul. Now, Fat's personal take is, and I've gotten flack from this. One time, we did a study at the House of Consciousness, big up the Dre, 35th Street in Norfolk, House of Consciousness in Norfolk, and we did a little study with some younger cats, and it was like a little debate session that they had, and they said you got to post up a topic, and my topic was I don't think white people have done anything wrong, and so you know what I mean. It just kind of it blew their mind, and when I look at this, I kind of feel the same way when I look at it.
Because you're saying when you say they're not doing anything wrong, is because what they're being them.
Yeah, you know them imitating us, them wearing blackface, them wanting to be like us. You know what I mean? Again, out of the three kings, they are choosing to honor the black one. I get cool. I look at that. Okay, well,
Yeah.
you can look at it like that. I'm like, boom, 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 and you can take that with a grain of salt. Me, I feel like we as black people should have laughed just as hard at blackface as white people. And then they looked at us like, no, that's not funny. No, we think that's just as funny as y'all. Y'all tripping for that's crazy, man. That's funny. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it personally. I try not to give white people so much power anymore. However, this to me, if someone feels like this is foul and insensitive, I can
understand why, and I feel the same way. I'm not offended at all.
Not really.
It's more when Americans do it. I've seen Americans dress up in blackface. There's been some fraternities and stuff that have done that.
Right.
I've seen them dress with dreadlocks. I've even seen some white people in kente cloth and stuff like that in blackface. Right. So I find that to be very offensive. They were American whites, and they should know better, But over there in Spain, culture is different, and so I'm glad we are at least acknowledging that. Yeah, this is not our culture, so we are outsiders looking in. But I'm black.
Right.
So I'm not an outsider in that regard. And blackface is something that does affect us, and especially since there's other ways to celebrate it, especially since it's not like they're just painting their skin black. I mean, it's the big red lips like a clown, They going hard. Yeah, it's a bit much, Let me see. Oriah Faithful. Swarty Pete or Black Pete. And I've heard of I heard him also called Peter the Nigger, Pietro del Negro. So yeah, Swarty Pete. That word Swarty means dark or black.
That Black Pete, that Pete comes up a lot. He's supposed to have been the one with Christopher Columbus, correct?
He's the one that helped him navigate. Peter the Negro helped Columbus navigate over here. It says and was able, because Moors were great navigators and known for being navigators.
Right. Oriah Faithful she said in Holland.
Because earlier he or she, I don't know if it's a guy or girl, but he or she said that it was Irish, but they were correcting themselves and saying, no, pardon cipher, that they were saying that they have a guy named Black Pete.
Okay.
That they celebrate like an elf or something.
In Holland too, huh?
In Holland,
wow.
Yeah. So we're going to go and look into a lot of these traditions.
It's all in the Runoko Rashidi stuff too.
Uh-huh.
See, again, you got to reflect all of our studies in nature. Runoko Rashidi, one of our great warrior scholars, has stated for many years, has shown us where we began all over the world.
Yeah. So, there's blacks all over the world in all of these different religions and cultures. Now let's talk real quick about that. A lot of times when people hear the word Spanish, because we don't study our history, and a lot of us don't study our history. The word Spanish is really confusing to a lot of us. Let me clarify right now. Spain is in Europe. Let's just start there.
It is?
Is it not?
I thought it was in Mexico.
I thought it was in Mexico too, but I didn't. But it isn't, you guys. It's in Europe, okay?
Man.
So the original Spanish people.
Spanish people. Are you saying that Spanish people are not Puerto Rican? But they're European. They're
European. The conquistadors who went around the world conquering the world. They went around the world conquering the world. And this is the reason why Hispanics speak Espanol. Okay. So there's ethnicity and then there's nationality. That's very important. So the nationality of a Spanish person, you can be from Spain and be all manner of races. And it's even more confusing because usually if you go back in time enough, we're black. Then somewhere in there, it's white people, and then there's the conquering. So there's all right now. My baby daddy kind of frisky back here. The Spanish people speak Spanish because they were conquered by people who speak Spanish. So if anybody knows anything about Hispanic problems as far as racially, you know that there are certain Hispanic people who consider themselves white. There's certain ones that consider themselves Spanish, and then there's certain ones that consider themselves Negro. Okay, so you have people like Celia Cruz and stuff like that who were considered themselves. They're like, hey, I'm a black person who happens to speak Spanish.
Felipe
But
Luciano's another
Felipe
one.
Luciano
He
is
considers himself a black Puerto Rican.
Felipe Luciano was the one of the founding members. What, the Young Lords Party, right?
Yeah, one of the founding members of the New York chapter of
Of the Young Lords Party.
and one of the original last poets.
And one of the original last poets. And he has a poem called Hibaro, my pretty nigga. My pretty nigga, man. So check that out. But I'm going in that to say, I don't want to confuse you guys. Because some people will go, oh, aren't Spanish people black? Some of them are. But the Spanish people we're talking about are European Spaniards, okay? Just like when you think about the conquerors, Portugal and Spain. You know what I mean? People are all mixed up now, but originally they weren't. And so they were conquered. They were taken over in 711 AD by the Moors. Let's pull up some pictures of the Moors just so you can see what we're talking about here, okay? Quickly. And thank you guys for joining in. If you have any comment, please say it. I will display it. So don't delay it.
Yeah, so the Moors, took over Spain. Of course, everybody know they were Islamic. Well, they were for there was a number of regimes too. It's what's my book? We had to break that. We got to live with that one time too.
So this is a video called When the Moors Ruled Portugal. Now, I don't know if this is the same one I saw, but I saw one video on YouTube, and it was about when the Moors ruled, but it was by some Europeans, and it really offended me because they were very, very reluctant to show pictures of the Moors. They were talking all around the fact that they were black, and everyone knows that they were black, you guys. I mean, just please stop it. So we're going to read 15 facts that you didn't know about the Moors in Spain, all right? So the Spanish occupation by the Moors began in 711 AD when an African army under their leader, Tariq ibn Ziyad, okay, crossed the Strait of Gibraltar from northern Africa and invaded the Iberian Peninsula, Andalus, Spain, under the Visigoths. 2. A European scholar sympathetic to the Spaniards remembered the conquest in this way. He says, the reign of their horses were as fire, their faces black as pitch, their eyes shone like burning candles, their horses were swift as leopards, and the riders fiercer than a wolf in a sheepfold at night. The noble Goths, the German rulers of Spain, to whom Roderick belonged, were broken in an hour, quicker than tongue can tell. Oh, luckless Spain, quoted All right. So 3, the Moors who ruled Spain for 800 years introduced new scientific techniques to Europe, such as astrolabe, such as an astrolabe, a device for measuring the position of the stars and planets. Scientific progress in astronomy, chemistry, physics, mathematics, geography, and philosophy flourished in Moorish Spain.
When the Moors got to Spain, they were 99% illiterate.
The Europeans were 99% illiterate.
99% illiterate.
And then after they were more literate, I guess you're saying.
Huh?
After the Moors conquered, they were more literate.
Of course.
Of course.
But then, they what they do, though. Once the Moors got kicked out, what they do? They burned down the libraries.
Hey, what's up, Warren? Peace.
Oh,
T.
What's up, bro? You already know, bro.
All right, a faithful say. I don't like it either way. I feel you, yo.
Yeah, no
you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, look, you know what I mean? But like Fat said, I try not to let these people have so much power over me either. Just because you choose to dress up, you just wearing an outfit. I'm the real deal. Illuminati, just because you got on a pyramid, I'm the real deal. So I shouldn't be but so offended because you can't.
Because you a biter.
Yeah, you a biter. Shame on, I pity the fool. You know what I'm saying? So we just, as gods, as Moors, we gotta laugh at it. We can't just look at it and, I'm not saying we gotta laugh at it. I'm not saying we gotta laugh at it. I'm saying that it's just like when you meet a child. You don't look at them as being any threat to you. You know what I mean? Because they're a child. These people are children in the knowledge. They were the children of civilization.
Yeah, they're the youngest.
They're the youngest people on earth. You understand what I'm saying? Often imitated, never duplicated. Let me put that up here. Hey, that's right. So when you got the goods, you're gonna be imitated. So ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm just glad they recognize that we got the goods. It's us that need to recognize it, though. You know what I mean? Ashe. All right. So the Moors who ruled Spain. So Basil Davidson, one of the most noted. Did I put it? Am I displaying it? Let me make it bigger there. Basil Davidson, one of the most noted historians, recognized and declared that there were no lands at that time, the 8th century, more admired by its neighbors or more comfortable to live in than a rich African civilization which took shape in Spain. Come on.
Cordova.
At its height, Cordova, the heart of Moorish territory in Spain, was the most modern city in Europe. The streets were well paved with raised sidewalks for pedestrians. During the night, 10 miles of streets were well illuminated by lamps. This was hundreds of years before there was a paved street in Paris or a street lamp in London. Cordova had 900 public baths. We are told that a poor Moor would go without bread rather than soap. Come on, Moors. All right? And I'm going to show y'all some paintings of the Moors in a minute, just so you can burn that image in your mind, because I don't want you to see them in blackface with your fezzes on.
At the
and,
end, yeah,
and I want, at the end of your mind, I want you to see that black dark face with that beautiful white outfit, that white turban, playing chess, getting off a beautiful white horse. Oh my God, with a sash and a come on, Fats got the stuff. Fats about to bring the books in. Come on now. All right, so let's have it. We having church tonight. We having true Christmas tonight. All right, so the Great Mosque of Cordoba, La Mezquita, is still one of the architectural wonders of the world, in spite of the later Spanish disfigurements. Its low scarlet and gold roof, supported by 1,000 columns of marble, jasper, and porphyry. Porphyry? These are new words for me. I don't know what this word is. Was lit by thousands of brass and silver lamps, which burned perfumed oil. Education was universal in Moorish Spain, available to all, while in Christian Europe, 99% of the population were illiterate.
I think I remember teaching the Karen Zach and them this. We did a little bit on Moorish Spain in school. There were over like 700 libraries. I think Cordova had like 60 libraries.
We're
not talking no little libraries.
Here they go. They start talking about those manuscripts right there.
100,000 manuscripts.
Come on, y'all. Come on. At that time, Europe had only 2 universities. The Moors had 17 great universities. These were located in Almeria, Cordova, Granada, Jaén, Malaga, Seville, and Toledo. Holy Toledo. Ain't that what they say? In the 10th and 11th centuries, public libraries in Europe were non-existent, while Moorish Spain could boast of more than 70, of which the one in Cordova housed 600,000 manuscripts, right? And this is something that y'all know, if y'all know the history, if y'all know about Egypt. One thing that they love to do when they come and start conquering our lands is to burn down our libraries so that we can't connect, or so that we can't easily connect with our history. Or they'll take the stuff from the library so that they can connect, but we can't. This is the reason why we have to honor our ancestors, so that way we could always connect, and we don't really need books to do that, all right? So I ain't trying to get too deep on y'all. That's that ancestral magic, though. Over 4,000 Arabic words and Arabic-derived phrases have been absorbed into the Spanish language. Words beginning with al, for example, are derived from Arabic. Come on. Arabic words such as algebra, alcohol, chemistry, which, you know, people call Egypt al-Kam, right? Chemistry, nadir, alkaline. Wow. Come on now.
I love learning about
and
it.
cipher.
You get the trip up.
Entered the language. Now y'all see, don't black people, especially nowadays, don't we love some alkaline and some cipher?
And some hip hop beat.
Ain't we building in the cipher?
And rhyme ciphers.
Come on now. Come on now. Even words such as checkmate, influenza, typhoon, orange, and cable can be traced back to Arabic origins. The most significant Moorish musician was known as Ziryab the Blackbird, who arrived in Spain in 1822. The Moors introduced earliest versions of several instruments, including the lute or el oud. Oh, the oud is a beautiful instrument. Oh, it sounds so beautiful, you guys. The guitar or kithara, and the lyre. Ziryab changed the style of eating by breaking meals into separate courses, beginning with soup and ending with desserts. Did you see that? Did y'all hear that? The whole concept of meals being broken into parts, having an appetizer, you know, a main course, desserts, and all of that is Moorish. The Moors introduced paper to Europe and Arabic numerals, which replaced the clumsy Roman system. Right? Now, y'all know about Roman numerals, right? And you may or may not know this, but the numerals that we write in today, these are Arabic numerals. 1 through 9 is Arabic, okay? And if I'm not mistaken, the Hindus or something introduced the cipher. Or the Asiatic black man introduced the cipher, which is the 0, okay? So, and this replaced the clumsy Roman system. And each number has the same amount of degrees in it that it is representing. So 2, if you write it like a Z, it has 2 degrees in it. If you write 1 with that little hook at the top, it has 1 degree in it. If you write 3 a certain way, It has 3 in it. 4, 5. I don't know how to write them all the way where you can see what I'm talking about. But it's very amazing, and it's Arabic, and it was introduced to Europe by the Moors. The Moors introduced many new crops, including the orange, lemon, peach, apricot, fig, sugarcane, dates, ginger, and pomegranate, as well as saffron, sugarcane, again, cotton, silk, and rice, which remains some of Spain's main products today. Now, this is something that we noticed, too. Look how everything comes around and goes around. We have read somewhere that not only did the Moors introduced cotton, but that when the Europeans got their hands on sugar, they were cracked out. They was done, right?
Yeah, we did what the Moors did to sugar. What the Moors did with the Europeans to sugar is what the Europeans did with us with crack. Same thing.
Come on, and sugar.
Out there. And look where in the world sugar is grown and produced more in our original places or whatever along the equator. So they ain't know nothing about no sugar, no coffee, y'all. Look how white people, who work with white people. I used to work in construction, I used to work in the shipyard. Yo, I always used to joke cats. I'd be like, yeah, you want to get these people upset? Yeah, take this coffee out of this office.
If you take that coffee out of that office, they will slit your throat.
Son,
so I want y'all to think about this too. So the fats is dropping nothing but jewels because that's right. It's a reversal. They found sugar. We introduced them to sugar. They went insane. They became addicted and they went insane. But still, it wasn't processed and crazy like how it is now or whatever.
Right.
But think about this. If when you were in school, wasn't there vending machines all through the halls? Yeah. When you're checking out your food, when you're checking out your books, when you could be in a bookstore, you could be in Barnes and Nobles, but right there when you're checking out, there's candy. So we're cracked out. Same with cotton. You know what I'm saying? So the same with cotton. And they also said they made us pick cotton because our hair has that texture and they wanted to make us hate our hair. So that's very deep as well. But white supremacy is deep. So eventually they will reverse something on you if you live long enough. Yeah. They like, remember that time when you did that? Remember that time when you won? I can't let you just win. If it takes me 100 years, I'm going to get you back, nigga.
So look, what I'm going to do is, right quick, I always like doing the literature. So y'all will be getting me. That'll be the literature. This is the literature moment of our
broadcast.
I don't know if y'all be able to see this.
Hold on, I'm gonna make sure.
Boom. All right. This is the golden age of the Moor. Now, this is a book that was edited by our great warrior scholar ancestor, rising power to the ancestor, Ivan Van Sertima. But however, Runoko Rashid, this is a compilation, and I didn't even realize this when I got this book. You know what I mean? But it's a compilation of our great Wayne Chandler wrote stuff in here. Runoko Rashidi wrote stuff in here. Ivan Van Sertima himself. A lot of people wrote stuff. Pimento Bay wrote some essays in here. But this book, all the stuff Nova's describing in that little essay that she read to y'all, is go deep, deep. I can show you that when they was talking about those people on horses, they were called Saracens. That's what the Europeans called these warrior cats that was on them horses. They were actually called Saracens, and they had these woolly hair. There's actually a picture of them in this book. Also chess, the concept of chess, the game of chess. Use his pictures of here, Moors playing chess in Europe back in the day or whatever. If you read, it also live with Hidden Colors. Hidden Colors 1 and 2, especially 1. 1 gave you a nice little section, nice little 30 minutes on the Moors in Spain. I didn't even know. I learned from Hidden Colors that we actually was building castles first. I gave Europe castles. I didn't.
Yeah, you thought they built them,
but Africa
but said that they said that they were living in barns when we showed up. So here it is. You know here's the Moors playing chess. Okay.
And look how they dress, y'all.
Look how they dress in all white. Y'all know this is nobility right here. This is the color of purity. White is a status, and it's the color of purity. Okay. It's not. We aren't white people and black people by skin. That's why it's status wise, we are the white people. That's why the reason why these Moors are always dressed in white. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, let me just kind of say right quick, like, comment, and share if you're tuning in. Hold on. We talk about the Three Kings Parade, which is
more dancing. Go ahead, baby.
We're talking about the Three Kings Parade. Let me pull this up right quick. There it is. Where these
don't trip.
Where these white people are dressing up in blackface every year to celebrate our ancestor Balthazar. And what's really interesting too, a lot of times Balthazar is the name of a demon. When you're looking at TV and you hear that name Balthazar, a lot of times it is the name of a demon. Okay, so we're being demonized at all times, but being subtly worshipped and praised while we're being demonized. So it's very, very interesting to me. Okay, so let's finish talking about these Moors right quick, and then we're gonna move on to a few more things about this this celebration here. All right, so let me see. So a lot of Spain's main products today were introduced by the Moors. All right, do I got this screen up good? I don't. There we go. All right. And anything you find fast, feel free to butt in and share.
Now, I just want to show them that horse. This is what a Saracen. Can you pull that up
Well,
right quick?
hold on. I just made the
you
screen.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
As soon as I make it back small, keep.
I can show you. I got it right
remember
here.
what page it is. I'm gonna pull it up too on online so they can see it. So they can really see it. Okay, so it says the Moorish rulers lived in sumptuous palaces, while the monarchs of Germany, France, and England dwelt in big ass barns with no windows and no chimneys, and with only a hole in the roof for the exit of smoke. One such Moorish palace, Alhambra. Now y'all heard of Alhambra? Literally, the red one in Granada is one of Spain's architectural masterpieces. Alhambra was the seat of Muslim rulers from the 13th century to the end of the 15th century. The Alhambra is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Okay, 14. It was through Africa that the new knowledge of China, India, and Arabia reached Europe. The Moors brought the compass from China into Europe. The Moors ruled and occupied Lisbon, named Lashbuna by the Moors, and the rest of the country until well into the 12th century. They were finally defeated and driven out by the forces of King Alfonso Enriquez. The scene of this battle was the Castelo de São Jorge, or the Castle of St. George.
And well, also you need to realize is back then when they were ruling, when it was Al-Andalus, when you went into the Mediterranean Sea back then, Moors ran the whole Mediterranean. You got to realize that. So Al-Andalus in Spain is up here, but right across the river is Morocco. I don't think people realize that. Morocco was like right there. So the Moors, off the politics, just ships went across, and this was really the same people in the same empire. So you have sects who went from Morocco who traveled over and ended up ruling for regimes. There's like, again, 711 to 1492. That's 800 years, y'all, by the way. That's not... Maybe 100 years. So
right.
There were different regimes of Moors and people of Islam that ran. Also, what you need to know is, even though the Moors were Islamic, they didn't care if you were Christian. Everybody did not have to become Islamic once they took over, because they took over a group of Christians, a bunch of Christians. So, but they were like, well, look, y'all can be Christian, just clean up. Use this fork. Here's this cotton. You know what I mean? Et cetera, et cetera. And so you can be a Christian, man, just please. These 900 baths we done built in this city, please use them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They so as you see what he's saying, they didn't. A lot of times, people, when I first heard about the Moors conquering Spain, I thought the way that I've been trained to, when I hear the word conqueror, I'm like, oh, they came in, they enslaved them, they raped them. They bettered Europe. They came in and upgraded Europe. Let me upgrade you, like Beyonce.
But
you know what I'm saying?
I read in this book that, let's say, now of course, when they took over, whites and Europeans became, I guess, like we are here in America, to a certain degree. The lesser people, they ain't had the knowledge, da. But when the Moors were coming, like when the slaves, let's say I was a Moor, and I had a European slave or person in the crib, right? And let's say me and her wanted to go to the movies. The slave came in with us. He ain't in that, him, oh, you want to go to the movies? Good job, And if the slave had a beef with me, and they actually had a Muslim place in the government where they could
say
go
their grievances
and slight their complaints. Like, hey, yo, man, he going too hard with the Islam, And there was a check and balances. But also, I want to say this too, like when you say they conquered Spain, we sound so bad. The first time I ever heard anything about the Moors, they were described as pirates.
That's
they
right.
called the Moors pirates. That's the first time I ever heard them when I was a kid.
Me
saw
too.
them in the movies. That's how they always described us. They were the Moors pirates. They always looked like pirates.
The Barbary pirates. See?
Right? Barbary. And Barbary, that's that word. That's us, y'all. We have been described by 10,000 words at least throughout history. Berber, Barbary.
Barbarian.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
The Barbary pirates.
Right.
But again.
Skrailing. You know what I mean?
Again.
Many words.
Again, though, on the low, even us being described as pirates, so because pirates are cool and awesome. Don't people like pirates? Pirates are fun, cool, and awesome. I think pirates are great. The skull and bones and all of that that's us. So we're being revered in all forms. I don't want to get too far, but I am going to pull that up at least. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, so this has been adopted by, people who are known to be thieves on the sea and the water. But what we're not thinking about when we're about the Moorish pirates, which is like saying the Moorish water thieves, the water criminals or whatever. These people are navigators, sea folks. I mean, you got to have skills, baby, to be up on these. If Moorish pirates are pirates, then you're still admitting that we built boats and our asses was on these boats traveling all around the world. And that's something that a lot of people try to downplay with us. You know
Well,
what I mean?
if they had to get to Al-Andalus from Africa,
That means
they
they
had
was
to
on
cross the
boats.
Mediterranean Sea.
That means they were on ships. Excuse me, ships.
Yeah,
A watercraft.
That's
You
a
know.
long walk. I know I take that river myself.
Right, right. So we got about 15 more minutes. So if you're just joining in, we're talking about this. We're talking about the Three Kings Parade. We're talking about white people dressed up in blackface and how we feel about it. And how, just to make you aware that there's other stuff going on in the world other than Christmas and how the Grinch stole the shit and all of that. We got the real deal. People are really out here literally worshiping you, brother and sister. But one reason why I really, really wanted you to see them in this blackface is because it's a subtle, not so subtle, indicador that the Moors did indeed conquer Spain. And a lot of people try to deny either the blackness of the Moors or not mention them so they don't have to talk about how black they are, because everybody knows that black Moors are black. Anybody that's in the know that Moors are black. But they also this is how you know that the Moors did indeed conquer Spain. Why would you be dressed up in droves like this around this one blackface king with fezzes on?
And you had a choice. You had two other whites you could have.
Yeah, you know, and sometimes they're that too. But I have not seen any
You don't see
picture
no
of them.
No fit, no a bunch of them in the street.
I don't.
You
Yeah,
see
I
what
ain't
they're
seen
at.
thousands of them all
Right.
dressed up as the other kings. You know, it just seems. So here's the one black one and the two white ones. So they acknowledge that, and that's interesting too. That you would think that these three kings were two white people and a black man.
Because they're all black.
They're all black, right? You know what I mean? But whatever.
We don't need to do that. Yeah,
Whatever. Let them have it.
Let 'em
Right.
have it.
That's your lie. I'm gonna let you tell it because I don't need your lie
good.
nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I want this to be interesting. When I found this out last year, I was like, wow, buddy. So there's one more article I want to read about this. Did I close it? I might have closed it. Here, it shook me to the core. This is somebody who was offended, you know, at it. So it shook me to the core. Blackface at Spain's Three Kings Parade. On January, this was written January 28th, 2020. On January 6th, Three Kings Day is celebrated each year in Spain, where people put on blackface as a part of the day. The parade, Dia de los Reyes Magos, in Spanish, celebrates the arrival of three wise men, Balthasar, Melchior, and Jasper, who visited Jesus, and the little drummer boy, so they told me, bum. Historically, Balthasar is portrayed as a black man, yet in some districts in Spain, they choose to use blackface to represent Balthasar, as opposed to finding a black person to take part in the parade. Sorry for yelling in you guys' ear, I'm just can't understand it. So this is, well, I can. This is what Fats was saying about the deep-seated desire to emulate us as their parents on the planet. All right. In Alcoy, Alicante, the festival has been celebrated there since 1885 and features an overwhelming amount of white people using blackface during the parade. Ami Hanco, a 26-year-old Spanish native's first memory of attending the parade is when she was 5 years old in Cabrils, Barcelona. Ms. Hanco said, as a child, my experience with the parade was always positive, especially because in my hometown, Balthasar, the black king, and his helpers have always been portrayed by black people. So where she's from, she never had a reason to question it because they just used black people.
Right.
Which is what you should just do. If you feel like one of them was black, which again, I'm proud of them for acknowledging that even one of them was black.
Yeah, y'all got to give them credit.
I got to give them credit for that.
Yeah.
In America, we can't admit that nobody's black, right?
Right.
All right. Let me see. As a mixed race child, that was one of the few times of the year I got to see black people in such a respected position. Was one of the few times I got to see a person that I felt resembled me. After the parade, the three wise kings will go to a church or a civic center, and the children will line up to deliver their letters to a king outlining what present they want.
And I'll take that over Santa.
And see, and Lee, look at the the kind of black origins of Santa Claus right here. We're always talking about Krampus and stuff, but look at this celebration. This is celebrating one of the black kings coming and bringing a gift to the Christ, to the anointed one. I'm not mad at that. I'm not.
It's their version.
Yeah, I'm not saying that again. Y'all could that blackface. I ain't gonna find. I hope y'all get skin poisoning for doing that. Don't do that. Y'all get out of blackface, man, and get some black people to do that. You over there in Spain, all them black people over there.
And just have a black guy.
Have a black guy do
depict
it.
them in a parade and y'all revere him if that's what you really want to do.
Just have a crowd. Let's have 100 black people dressed with the fez and stuff coming through there as the king. You know what I mean, or whatever. I like that. But no, that blackface, y'all got to go somewhere with that. Miss Hanco said she will always remember the first time she saw a white person in blackface portraying Balthasar. She went to the neighboring town's parade when she was 8 years old with a friend and her parents. She said at the parade there weren't any black people. As every year, I was excited to see Balthazar and was horrified when I saw a white man painted in black. I did not understand what was going on, and I started to feel uneasy. It shook me to the core. Watch the video. Why do people still wear blackface during the festival? Ms. Honko said it's frustrating because a lot of it comes from ignorance. But what is worse is the response we get when we, black people, demand accountability, which is none or has quite an aggressive response. There is no will to understand or to have any kind of sensibility towards what black people feel in Spain, which is still seen as a non-reality. We can't be Spanish because we're black. Ms. Honko described the Alcoy case as a great example of the lack of willingness to understand and respect a black person's experience in Spain. She said people hide behind the excuse that it's tradition and therefore can't be changed. Listen, I'm feeling worn out from having to constantly explain my experience to white people, especially because they feel the need to understand it as their own for it to be valuable. Something that is not possible.
That's heavy.
Yeah, I like the way she analyzed that. Yeah, that's the reason why they can't acknowledge that this is somehow racist, because they feel like, just like I just said with the example I gave earlier about saying, oh, that's gay or blah, 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 blah. I don't mean it. I mean it lightly. I don't mean it nowhere near the way a gay person is probably taking it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They like oppression, though. See, y'all got to understand that psychology to me. You know, they're actually hating on us for the oppression. They don't have anything to really be oppressed about per se, especially in these modern day times. So we're the sufferers
not
of
compared
everything
to
that's
us.
going on for the most part. So I think my theory on that is
they worship our oppression.
They worship our oppression.
Yeah. When I was a little girl, and I was in school, this was elementary school? There was or middle school. I'm sorry, we're live. We'll get with you in a minute, okay?
Okay.
All right. Literally in about 10 minutes. She said she was, in so many words to paraphrase, she said she was kind of jealous. She said because she felt like white people haven't gone through anything. She said, I feel, now we know that that's actually not true.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they've gone through a lot.
But
it's
self.
What
they put themselves through, they
right.
put themselves through.
Yeah, we didn't come and
so,
you do it to them, right?
Yeah.
You know, so she just felt like, they didn't really have anything to struggle for.
Right, because white women suffer.
Yeah, white women,
in my
children.
Opinion, treat them
when
crazily.
You read about Europe and all,
and then
poor
history,
people.
like that book Dirt I'm reading, I'm telling y'all.
Well, one day we're going to read that. Fat says this book called Dirt, all right? And it's just about the history of filth. The history of filth, and it really gets into that European filth and stuff.
But that's where they are, though. They're not talking about Egypt in the book.
They're talking about Europe, and it's bad, y'all. So when we do go into that, y'all can't be eating or nothing like that. It's very disgusting.
Sure
you can't be eating. We're not just saying that. So let me see. Campaign against. Okay, so let me finish reading this, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start rounding up. I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna show y'all some beautiful pictures of Moorish brothers and sisters, or at least some brothers. Probably not able to find no pictures. Maybe too many of the sisters from back in the day. Oh, in that book? Okay. But I just mean on the screen so they can really see it. Because it's kind of hard for me to...
Yeah, that might be hard. And by the way, this Golden Age of Moors book is now like $300.
Yeah. So we're blessed to have it.
So we're blessed. So we got this a long time ago. Actually, we traded this with Brother Wise, Peace Wise. You know what I mean? My man, Brother Wise or whatever. We actually...
traded that book for the Holy Tablets, actually. Mm-hmm. Organizations such as Volum Alcalir and Black Barcelona Encuentro denounced the use of blackface during the parade. Volum Alcalir has been campaigning against blackface for almost 2 years. The nonprofit organization encourages Spanish citizens to visit their city council and demand that Balthazar be portrayed by a black man or woman. Results published on the Volum Alcalir Instagram page show that from recent campaigns, excuse me, let me run it back. Results published on the Volum Alcalir Instagram page show that from recent campaigns, of the towns, I think that's a typo, that did use blackface. I think it's supposed to say that of the towns that did use Black Balthazar, also known as Balthazar Veritat. So here's a poll. Statistics published by Capitals, an increase with the results. Parades, and I'm not really sure what this chart is trying to show. All right. So Zaira Carmona, 21, a biracial woman from Spain, said, from a European country like Spain where racism is so deeply internalized and so well integrated both politically and socially, the use of blackface for Christian festivities, TV programs, and theaters is just a natural product of the structural problems that exist in Spain against the black community. There is no recognition that racism is still very present today in Spain. And starting from the principle, it's really complex to change something that perpetuates these forms of violence against black bodies. She thinks a great solution would be for the black community in Spain to access political and other positions of authority. That way, they can outline how problematic this is and implement laws to prohibit practices such as blackface. Also, start educating in schools about what racism is, where it comes from, and forms it can take, said Miss Carmona. Miss Honko said some battles have been won, but it's still an ongoing fight. That's why we have to keep denouncing it and to talk about it. So that's what I'm doing right now. I want to make sure you guys are not ignorant about the fact that in the world, this white supremacy is going hard as shit on everybody in the world, and we are having to beg sometimes. But it's so ingrained. Just think about Thanksgiving. You know, how ingrained in that is for, you know, even those of us who don't really celebrate it, in a roundabout way we do, because our families still celebrate it a lot of times. So we're celebrating how pilgrims then came over here and raped and pillaged and pushed the Native Americans who was black all the way up to the corner of the manifest destiny and all. And that's being celebrated all the time like it's normal. Columbus Day, you know, somebody discovering something that already had inhabitants. But because it's discovered for white people, it's now being discovered for the first time. And we still celebrate that. We get a day off, and we're mad if we don't get that day off and all of that. So that's something that, you know, it's what people call double think. When you know something's wrong, but you still, there's being double-minded, you can still go for it anyway. So this person is like, because this stuff is so ingrained in Spain's history and their culture, and something that makes children happy and is associated with candy and gifts and shit, it can't be racist because it makes them feel good. And it's like, no, y'all need to take that racist shit out of it, and it'll make us feel even better. You know what I'm saying? So hold on, Fats is got some stuff to show y'all. Hold on, let me see too if I can't. Let me see Moors on. Let's see the Moors on horse. All right, let's see if we can get some of that. Can I get? Okay, here's one. Look at that, regal, noble. He got that fez or head wrap or something. He got that wrap. Let me see. Let's see. How about, let me put chest. See if I can find something.
That picture is famous, that one.
Yeah, this is famous a lot. So there it is in color.
That's the one.
That picture he was showing y'all a minute ago. So again, we're associated with this game and just intellectualism. Mathematics. You know, y'all know how mathematic this game is.
Front chest is kind of a math game. If you stand angles and
Whoa.
things like that or whatever.
Hold on, check this out. Y'all see the black people, right? Look. They white now. Y'all see that?
Isn't that nice?
Ain't that something? Isn't that nice?
Which one was first?
You know, on the list, this is some living Moors playing chess, you know, right here being photographed. We love chess. When you go down, when you around where I live at, you know, when you go and you find people that's playing chess outside, it's the old black man. You know? But anyway, so these are not Moors. These are white people playing chess. Let me see. Ooh. Look at the Moors versus the white people in this chess set. Yeah, that's funny. The Moors versus the Portuguese. All right. So Fats got... Ooh. Look at this.
All right.
All right. So Fats got something to show y'all. Hold on.
Just, they know we love the women or whatever, so you get, you know, we always talk about Moorish men and men and men. Is one picture of...
I'll keep my finger in the place.
You got them?
Okay,
all right.
I think you got it.
We got 4 decent little pictures.
Okay.
You got them?
Uh-huh. I think I might have closed one of them. Sorry.
Yeah, 3 is fine. All
right. So we're going to start. I'm going to keep my fingers just like that. All right. So here are some Moorish women. Looks like we need to go live about just the Moors in Spain, period, Fats. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful sister.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Sister, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. And she's got that short stature, too, like some of us can have.
Mm-hmm. That's a taboo woman. So it's different kinds, different species, and things like that. So
different tribes or whatever.
Into the Moorish women. Let's not forget, y'all already know what it is.
All right. So y'all see, they ain't look like me now. Right? They look dark. Darker than Fats. Darker than me. So let's not let nobody be fooled. If just because you Spanish does not mean you're black. You know, I mean, does that mean you're not black? Excuse me. You know what I mean? So that's like that lady said. They're Spanish, so they can't be black, or they're black, so they can't be Spanish. Spain is a nation, okay? It's a country. So you can be a Spanish black person. In fact, the chances that you are black are very high, all right? If you're Spanish, okay? So let's see where everybody got. She says, Do y'all remember that one time that dumb white girl used a permanent marker, a Sharpie, and did blackface? She could not get it off, and that's where her ass get. Baha. I don't remember, but I need to go look that up, fam.
That's funny. That's
True indeed. You know what I mean? Okay, so we're about to round it up. Let me see. What kind of let me get my spiel on. So we've been talking about the Three Kings Parade and what it's all about. Let me show you guys the picture again, just for GP, just to burn that image right quick. Look at this, y'all.
Yeah, you
Tell me
the
these people.
image of actual Moors, right?
I did, but I want y'all to also understand that these people are worshiping you. So don't not worship yourself when the people who you think are oppressing you only, they're worshiping you behind closed doors, and sometimes not even behind closed doors, okay? So when I come and start talking that talk, don't be like, nyeh, 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 nyeh. When these folks over here can't wait to be you. If they had a pill they could take, there'd just be some niggas, they would, okay? All right, so
Get out, yo.
Get out. Y'all saw Get Out. And you know, Jordan Peele said that was a documentary.
Yeah, when I don't know if y'all check his interviews when it came out, he would go on shows, and some of the people that would look at it, he would like, "No, I'm serious."
He's like, "No, that movie is my autobiography."
All jokes aside, it's a documentary, and of course, Jordan, that's funny, but
he'd be like,
yeah, he won't blackface then. He was straight face.
Y'all seen the movie Avatar? Y'all seen that movie with the blue people, right? That they grew an avatar with no soul and put the white man's consciousness into the avatar so he could go and infiltrate their society so they could get the valuable element that was underneath their holy tree that was holding their whole society and their world together. And the element they were trying to get from these people was called unobtainium. That's what it was called. So if you ever wonder and you like, they don't want to be us, that yes they do, okay? So, or at least some of them, most, you know, these people know it. They're not even trying to hide it, okay? They're mad that you telling them don't dress, you telling them don't put on blackface, and they're like, why? I want to wear blackface with big red lips. How dare you offend me? I'm like, how are you offended? But whatever. All right. So this has been Novocaine and Facts with Each Nine Teach Nine. Where's my stuff? Bang. You know what I mean? You can follow. I think I only got my stuff up. Apologies, Fats. But you can follow me at Each Nine Teach Nine. You can follow Fats at the Culture Chronicles. Novocaine Omega. You know what I mean? This has been the Three Kings Parade. Whites in blackface. Get your study on. Next time we go live, or one of these next days, we're going to talk about Maulana Karenga, the inventor of Kwanzaa, and why you might want to rethink Kwanzaa. All right? So if you're very attached to Kwanzaa, you might want to unattach yourself and just attach yourself to your African tradition directly and bypass Kwanzaa, all right? Because the man is an evil Black Panther killing agent, okay?
We'll put y'all
but
deep.
We'll put y'all deep later.
If you make it
Spoiler
choice,
alert.
what we're going to do is just break spells. We're breaking foolish spells, so that way you know.
What's up, Decimus?
What up?
We've been listening to your mixes nonstop. The children come in the room, they be like, let me see your footwork, baby. That's all I be hearing, yo.
Yeah, they go hard, man. They love it, man.
Y'all snapping. Let's go. You know what I mean? That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. You know what I mean? We need to get somebody up here to talk about the Ifa. You know what I mean? I don't know enough about it to go as deep as I want. You know what I mean? I know more about the Netaru and the Kemetic stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
we need to do a comparison because they're pretty much the same.
yeah. And some people have done that. So we'll do that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we love y'all. We're going to check y'all on the next go round. Peace and blessings to the fam. You know what I mean?
Zulu Union stand up.
Yeah, I mean?
All of the Solar Flare Natives, Roller People, Soul Trust Records, Each Nine Teach Nine, Culture Chronicles, and all of the beautiful Nubian and good white people of the world. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.